So we've learned about a few different parts of PNF. We've learned about PNF patterns. At this point you've learned about PNF stretches, and now we're going to talk about one more component of PNF, and this is not the whole umbrella of PNF, understand that, but these are just a few components that fall underneath that umbrella, is PNF strengthening. And so there are 5 different techniques that we're going to learn today in these videos. Rhythmic initiation, alternating isometrics, rhythmic stabilization, slow reversals, and agonist reversals. And so we're going to step over here and kind of run through these different strengthening techniques. So I'm actually going to have you sit up if you don't mind. So maybe come around here. Sorry. No, not you. I'm not a very good film director. With these, this is about getting people's bodies moving. Obviously, since it's PNF, it's about making that connection between the brain and the body. And so we want to involve as much of the brain as we can. So they're hands-on techniques to kind of help facilitate that connection between the brain and the body tactily, while tactily through touch, while we're having people begin movement. So with rhythmic initiation, it's just about getting somebody to do a motion that they're unable to do to begin with, and then progressing them through that. So let's say Karen had had a stroke and her left side, she wasn't able to move it much or not at all, and it was flaccid. So what I might do is just tactically hold onto her arm tactily and bring her arm into possibly even a PNF pattern, okay? And I'm just going to slowly bring her through. And it's not about the pattern. I might even just have her do a flexion motion, okay? And I'm moving her arm, okay? I'm fully doing it. This is passive range of motion. As I continue to work with her, I'm having her watch with her eyes. I'm having her try and follow it because she's making that connection with her brain. And then eventually, maybe not even this time around, but I move to where in a few sessions possibly I have her say, now I really want you to try and help me as much as you can. And so hopefully as her body heals and that mind-body connection, mind-muscle connection happens, she's starting to able to slowly move. And so I have her active assistive range of motion through that, and then I have her eventually move to where she's actively doing it before we move into resistance. So whatever motion I'm wanting her to do, I'm touching her body, having her follow with her eyes as she repetitively does that motion, and there's kind of a rhythm to it. So you can do it with any body part. So I'm going to have you lay on your side now if you want. Other side, sorry. So let's say that Karen's having like a hard time reaching over to roll, okay? I could have her start just reaching over like this, and we go through that whole same process again. So really just know that it's about that repetitive movement that you walk them through passively, then active assist, and then active range of motion for rhythmic initiation. Okay? All right, go ahead and sit up for me. So the next item are called alternating isometrics. Okay? So I'm going to show you what this looks like on a few different body parts. So let's say Karen has had a stroke and she's weak in her trunk and she's having a hard time keeping stabilized. What I can do with her are some alternating isometrics. So I can have her push into my hands for trunk flexion, and I'm isometrically holding her. So push, 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 push. Now relax. And then I'm going to reach behind her and have her pull. Pull, 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 and relax. So I'm having her do isometrics, but we're alternating back and forth. So I can do the same thing on the side. I can have her push into lateral flexion, push, 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 relax, and then go to the other side. Push, 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 relax. And we can do the same thing with any body part. So let's say she has weak triceps. I can have her push into my hand, push, 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 relax, and then switch into a firing of the biceps into elbow flexion, push, 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 relax. And that's alternating isometrics as well. Anytime you do any type of isometric contractions where you switch between different actions of the shoulder, of the elbow, of the foot, of the knee, of the trunk, even of the neck, all of those can be alternating isometrics. The next one we'll show you is rhythmic stabilization. Rhythmic stabilization is a little more complex because you're firing two almost opposite muscle groups isometrically at the same time. And so that's really the key to it, is that you have to have two separate muscle groups firing at the same time, and that delineates it from alternating isometrics. So if we go back to the trunk, I could work with Karen on trunk rotation. I can push against her here with my hand and then hold, and you kind of, I don't know if you can see it here, with my back hand I'm kind of grabbing her hip, and so I'm pushing her back here. She's going to push forward, and she's also going to try and push the other way as I push against her. So push, 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 and relax. So I'm just having her fire opposite sets of muscles kind of at the same time. We could do it with the shoulder here. I could have her try and fire her extensors in the shoulder and her elbow flexors at the same time. So I want you to push down here and pull here at the same time. Push, 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 and relax. I'm isometrically firing two competing muscle groups kind of at the same time. A lot of times people see it more for rotational stuff, but you can use it for other muscle groups as well. After rhythmic stabilization, the firing of two muscle groups, and just think about that as a progression of alternating isometrics. You're taking a more simple task of having somebody just fire one group of muscles at a time to trying to fire two diverse muscle groups at a time. So involves more of the brain, involves more of the body, involves more contact, and so it's firing all those neurons and making those connections between the brain and the body. So the next one is what is called a slow reversal. So anytime you have reversal, you're going to get some opposites going on. So let's say once again that Karen, our patient here, has some trunk instability. So what I could have her do, and sitting on, this really works well, sitting on our rolly chairs here, I want you to just kind of slowly push me forward. So push, 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 and I just kind of roll back with her, and she's slowly coming forward. Now I want you to slowly pull back, and I just kind of roll forward with her. Watch their toes though, okay, especially since she took her shoes off earlier. So it would go forward, 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 and then slowly back, slow back. Okay, good. So that's a slow reversal for trunk. You can do it for any group of muscles. So let's do the biceps again. I'm going to have her slowly pull your arm into flexion. Slow, slow, slow. I'm resisting the whole way. And then push, 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 push. And then back. Push, push, and push, 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 push. One more time, pull, 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 and push, push, push. So that's another version of a slow reversal. You can do it with any joint, any group of muscles. You just want to reverse the muscles that you're doing it with. So you're contracting opposite sets of muscles. So obviously wrist flexion and extension, ankle plantar and dorsiflexion, knee flexion and extension, hip flexion and extension, hip ab and abduction. You can do it for any of those. Another technique, and the final one we're going to look at for this video, is what's called an agonist reversal. And so the key here with slow reversals, you switch hand positions, opposite directions. With an agonist reversal, you're going to keep your hands in the same position because you're still strengthening the same group of muscles. You're going to strengthen concentric contraction, and then you're going to strengthen with an eccentric contraction. This is the most complicated of these. So what I'm going to have Karen do is I'm going to have her push forward, push, push, push. I'm going to roll kind of back with her. Now, what I want you to do, Karen, is I'm going to kind of push you back, and I want you to let me, but I want you to also slow and keep it controlled. So you should still feel contraction in your abs, okay? So back, 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 and she's fighting me the whole way, so she's still firing the abs eccentrically as we go back into extension, okay? Works the same with any group of muscles. It's an agonist reversal because we're still working on that same group of muscles, in this case the abdominals, but we're working, the reversal part of it is it's concentric and then eccentric. So with the elbow, it would be something like this. I want you to flex your arm. Okay, so I'm resisting, 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 resisting. Good. Now I'm going to pull it down, and as I pull it down, I want you to resist the whole way. So I'm going to slowly go down. Okay, and she's allowing me to, but she's also keeping it going. Okay, so don't fight so much to hold it in position. Kind of go with me, but resist as you go. Good. So that's an agonist reversal. She's contracting concentrically as we go up, and then eccentrically slowly as we go down. Okay, this is a little complex. Sometimes it's hard for the patient to get it, but once they get it, it's very effective. And you should know from your notes, your Canvas notes, that eccentric contraction builds muscles quicker even than concentric contractions. The only bad part about it is they have higher risk of the delayed onset muscle soreness. And so you have to be a little bit more careful with it, and so this is definitely a little bit more advanced. But those are your PNF strengthening techniques.